Oh, I'm live. That's great. And I'm live on Telegram now too. Got one more thing to do, and we are going. Okay. Got a few things to talk about today. Lots of things going on in the news. But if you have a question for me, general question, you can always drop it in the comments and I'll see it and I'll respond on air. It'll be exciting. Okay. First thing I want to talk about, if you entered the Diversity Visa Lottery Program for 2026, this means back in October or November, you submitted an entry to the DV Lottery. You can find out if you were selected to go on to the next round, if you were selected on May 3rd, 2025. That's this Saturday. At noon Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So I'm not in that time zone. It's basically the time zone for New York and DC. Okay. So good luck to everybody that's watching that entered. I'm hoping that everybody that watches the show, I hope that you win. Okay. So, but since we're talking about the diversity visa program, probably a good time for me to talk about what the House Judiciary Committee, what they are up to. They released a proposed budget on Sunday night that tinkers, that plays around with the diversity visa program. And the way it does it is two different ways. Now, first of all, this is not law yet. The House would need to pass it. The Senate would need to pass it. The president would need to sign it. But here's what it does. Two things. Right now, it doesn't cost anything to enter the DV lottery in October or November. Under this proposed legislation, it would cost $250 to enter the lottery. And they say it begins fiscal year 2025, which makes no sense because the fiscal year 2025, well, that's already happened, right? So, I mean, I don't know what they're talking about when it starts. That just doesn't make sense. We're already in fiscal year 2025. So those entries were already made like in October of 2024, November of 2024. So anyway, actually, I got that wrong. 2023. We're always 2 years behind on the DV lottery. So I think this is wrong. And the reason it's wrong is because the odds of winning the lottery are less than 1%. They're 0.025%, a quarter of a percent is what they are. Okay. Very low odds. So why would you want to spend $250 for a chance at something that's, it's illusory almost? It's a negligible chance of winning. To me, this is like a scam because we're parading the lottery around like it's always been the same lottery. It's not going to be the same lottery. This changes it completely. It changes the way it works. Instead of 20 million entries, which is what we had last year, we had just under 20 million entries. You're going to have many fewer entries. And most of those entries are going to come from countries like that are in Europe, right? They're not going to be able to get as many people entering the DV lottery when they charge this much money. There are many countries on this planet where $250 is a monthly salary or several months' salary. So it's just ridiculous that we would fleece the global South, that we would steal from the poorest people in the country to give the money to the State Department for this program, because it's not necessary. The second change that the Republicans are proposing to the DV lottery program is raising not just raising, like the application fee now is $330, but you don't have to pay it unless you get an interview, right? They are paying that they have it set up to whoever makes an application. Okay. So that means when you submit, wait. Ba, 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 ba. The way I read this before is they're going to start collecting the money when you make the DS-260 application. And that's not fair. Oh, no, that's not where I find this. Thank you for your patience. This is for who registers, who files an application for a diversity immigrant visa. So, and the fee and the amount specified in the subject at the time such application is filed. So it could be that this isn't what this means. But I'm scared that they're going to try to collect this money when you submit the DS-260. And of course, that's not fair because only half the people that submit the DS-260 are issued a visa. So there are some problems with this proposed legislation. It's bad. Republicans on the Judiciary Committee are trying to do bad things, and they should be stopped. Okay, so I talked about that. Okay, on the 28th, which was Monday, President Trump did an executive order, not a travel ban. Everybody's wondering when the travel ban's coming. Me too. But it is an order that impacts a lot of immigrants in the U.S., and that is especially a lot of recent immigrants that become truck drivers. Apparently, Trump is upset that there are truck drivers in the U.S. who do not have really proficient English. So he's made a executive order that's going to make it harder to get a CDL license. That's the commercial truck driver's license. It's going to be harder to get a commercial truck driver's license if English is not your first language. You have to have more proficient English to be able to be a truck driver. This is a little crazy because, when you're on the roads, there's 20 different signs, and you memorize those signs, you're good. But this is the way, these clowns are in charge. So we have to go along with what they're doing. So what I would recommend is, if you are currently a truck driver, take steps to improve your English skills so you don't get caught up and be a victim of this silliness, okay? It will take them a while to implement this and figure out how to implement it. Also, when they do implement it, it's going to really ruin our economy because probably half of the truck drivers in the U.S. Are immigrants. So their war on our economy here is really messed up. But anyway, if you are a truck driver and you can improve your English, I recommend you do that. Take an ESL class. English is a second language. Take an ESL class on your day off. Or maybe when you're driving, don't watch videos. Listen to audio tapes on improving your English, right? So that way you can have tools necessary to survive this craziness. Okay, what else do I have to talk about? There's lots of immigration news related to the things that Trump is doing to people already in the United States. I don't follow it as much since the specialty of our law firm is mandamus lawsuits for people that are waiting for visas or USCIS delays. But just generally, one of these things was ICE had canceled the SEVIS which is the system that allows you for a foreign national to be a student at a U.S. university and on a student visa. They canceled the CVIS for thousands of foreign students, and there were lawsuits. All my colleagues filed lawsuits all across the country with motions for TROs, temporary restraining orders, saying that these decisions were arbitrary, and they were winning all of them. And eventually ICE gave up and reversed the policy, but it's temporary. They are going to roll out a policy that's pretty much the same policy, and so it's going to get a new round of lawsuits. But here's what it comes down to. In the old days, like during the Biden administration, if the State Department canceled your visa, but you were already in the U.S., it didn't matter. It didn't affect you because you didn't need a visa. You were already in the U.S. Of course, you didn't want to leave in that situation because you wouldn't want to come back. You couldn't come back. What the Trump administration wants to change is they want the State Department. They want Secretary Rubio to have the ability to use his clause to come in and impact the lawful status of people that are already in the U.S. studying after he cancels their visa. So he cancels their visa, then they could cancel their CVIS and then theoretically try to remove them or something. So that's what the goal is. It's a crazy goal, and for some reason, they are passionate about it. They're taking it very serious. And Secretary Rubio is getting, some people used to have some respect for him and thinking, he was no Trump. He's getting closer and closer to Trump every day. Like he's sent a tweet. Was it a tweet today? No, he's talking to a reporter today, and he said something about how I'll tell you what I think about that. It's the same thing I would tell a judge, and that is I wouldn't answer that question. And what he's referring to is like the guy that they removed, whether or not they should have to remove him back. Basically, he's saying that he doesn't have to answer to a judge because he's the Secretary of State, so he doesn't have to answer to the judge. What's weird is the State Department's always kind of believed that since they were put into place in like the 1780s. They think that they're above the law. But what's new is for them to say it out loud and for them to be so brazen about it. I don't know how it's going to end. Eventually, the Supreme Court's going to weigh in and say, enough, stop, and we'll see what happens then, right? Okay, so the other thing going on is they're trying to target and remove vulnerable people on vulnerable immigration statuses that are using social media to be critical of Israel or Trump. So this is crazy. I hate saying it because I thought I lived in a free country, but if you have a vulnerable immigration status, it is best to get another hobby than social media. Take up skateboarding or go out in the woods and take up birding. Those people that look at birds. I think they take pictures of them. I don't know if they do them. Whatever birders do. I think it would be a good idea for you to get a hobby other than expressing yourself in the public forum, and rely upon your friends and allies and family who have U.S. citizenship to be your voice. Okay, because you don't want to put yourself in harm's way without informed consent. If you want to do it, that's okay, but understand that there could be consequences because they've got people that should be doing the work of making the government work right now are going through Facebook and looking for people saying bad things about Trump or Israel. Crazy times. So just take care of yourself, be mindful that there are people watching, looking out for different things. Okay. Just in case says bird watching. Yep. I would love to do bird watching, but it takes patience. And I'm just like looking for the bird. The bird's not there. I don't have time. I keep going. Okay. What's the other thing I want to talk about? I think that's about it. I don't have any questions today. I just have somebody talking about bird watching. Let me see here. Mm, that's all I have for today. So I will see you next Wednesday. Let's talk immigration, 3 o'clock. If you have questions in the meantime, hit me up on um, WhatsApp or Telegram. Justin K says he fears to visit Canada. I don't think I would fear to visit Canada. I would fear the ability to come back to the US after I visited Canada. Or I would fear, yeah, you don't have to be scared of Canadians. Canadians are cool. Even if you're a green card holder. Oh, well, you need to talk to an immigration attorney in Canada. Let me tell you why. Your ability to enter Canada depends not only on like your lawful status here, but like what your nationality and stuff is too. So keep that in mind. Okay. People are always asking me to consult on Canadian law, and I know nothing about Canadian law. I was in Ottawa in like 2011. No, wait, I was in Montreal like a few years ago, but that's it. No, I wasn't even in Montreal. I was in Vancouver. I forget. There's only 3 cities. I can't remember which one's which. Not a Canada, not licensed in Canada, not a Canada expert. It is a beautiful place, though. Justin says he has an EU passport. That's great. Canada's not in the EU. I'm not answering your Canada question, Justin. I'm not going there. Okay. I got a comment here from the back room. And I'm not really sure about the context. So I'll wrap it up today, and I will see y'all next Wednesday. Take care of yourself.